Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on the STV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Rivers State House of Assembly has commenced impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu over allegations of gross misconduct. Ubong Usoro has details. We'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. Now to the next story, where the national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, David Mag, has inaugurated Atigwe Uwa as chairman of the party's Constitution Review Committee, in a move aimed at strengthening internal democracy across all board, reinforcing the party's guiding principle. While inaugurating the committee in Abuja, MAC charged its members to develop a framework that promotes inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability, while staying true to the party's founding ideas. Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak has unveiled the e-registration and revalidation of membership for the All Progressive Congress, that is APC, in the state. The governor, who was documented as the first registrant of the party in the state, said the exercise is designed to strengthen the party and ensure accurate membership tally for planning, noting that everyone who wished to register as members of the party should be accommodated, cautioning against excluding anyone from the exercise. Addressing party stalwarts in Ilorin at the APC stakeholders engagement and the commencement of the e-registration and revalidation exercise organized by the state chapter under the chairman, Sunday Fagbemi, the governor stressed the need to accurate membership records. The federal government has redesignated the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, celebrated annually on January 15th, to Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. The Director, Defense Information, Major General Smaila Uba, explained in a statement that the redesignation was to reflect the dual purpose of the day. He urged the media to adopt Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day in all their future reportage. The Nigerian Air Force, that is NAF, has initiated a move to fast-track the acquisition of 12 AH-1Z attack helicopters from the United States. Chief of the Air Force, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, led a program management review meeting with senior United States government officials and representative of Mrs. Bell Textron in San Diego, California, USA. Speaking during the engagement, Aneke expressed appreciation to the United States government and Mrs. Bell Textron for their continued cooperation, professionalism, and transparency in the execution of the helicopter acquisition program. The World Health Organization has identified malnutrition in children under 5 as a major global health challenge, linked to 45% of child death, significantly impacting development and economic growth, particularly in low and middle-income countries. Correspondent Zarau Nasser takes a look at what the federal government is doing in tackling malnutrition in the country.
An estimated 2 million children in Nigeria suffer from acute malnutrition, but only 2 out of every 10 children affected get treatment. 7% of women of childbearing age also suffer from acute malnutrition. Nigeria has the second highest burden of stunted children in the world, with a national prevalence rate of 32% of children under 5. Medical experts say symptoms include weight loss, poor growth, fatigue, weakened immunity, and cognitive issues. They attributed causes to include poor diet and poverty to underlying illness or absorption problems, affecting all ages but especially children and the elderly. This they believe can be addressed through improved nutrition, supplementation, and treating root causes. The Director of Nutrition Information System, Federal Ministry of Health, Emmanuel Abata, says the Minister of Health, Professor Muhammad Ali Fati, is doing everything possible to see zero malnourished child in the country, especially by bringing donor partners to support what the government is doing to tackle the issue of malnutrition.
To him, he wants, if it's possible, he will see zero malnourished child in Nigeria. He wants it to be zero. So I think he has come in with a lot of strategies and a lot of plans, and is making a lot of effort. Even today, he's bringing donor partners to support the ministry, to add to what government is doing. And I think he has supported the nutrition interventions in Nigeria. So we are procuring commodities, especially these basic products for nutritional services like RTF, SQLNS, and the rest of them.
The United Nations view malnutrition as a critical global challenge, a violation of human rights, and a barrier to development, aiming to end it by 2030 through Sustainable Development Goals, which targets ending hunger and all forms of malnutrition. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV.
Still on health matters, 4 people, including 2 pregnant women, have died from suspected Lassa fever in Awe local government area of Nasarawa State, prompting the closure of the general hospital in the area. Health officials say the outbreak began with a patient who died before treatment, followed by her husband, who later developed similar symptoms. Health workers have been isolated as precaution, while calls have been made for protective equipment and improved disease surveillance capacity. The Independent Corrupt Practice Commission, that is ICPC, says Aliko Dangote has withdrawn his petition against Ahmed Farouk, the former CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, over allegations of corruption and financial impropriety. The petition had accused Farouk of living beyond his means, including allegedly spending over $7 million on his children's education abroad without lawful income justification. Despite the withdrawal, the commission said its investigation will continue, noting that another law enforcement agency has also taken over aspects of the case. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has condemned the killing of 5 forest guards in a bandit attack on the National Park Office in Aloka Village, Orire local government area, describing it as a devastating loss. The governor said preliminary investigation indicates a cross-border attack, adding that security agencies have restored calm and intensified deployment in the affected areas. Makinde urged residents, especially those in border communities, to remain calm and cooperate with security agencies as efforts continue to apprehend the perpetrators. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, the Super Eagles to receive AFCON bonuses before Friday. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business, where the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, that is NEC, says Togo, Niger, and Benin Republic owe Nigeria $17.8 million, an equivalent of 25 billion naira at the current exchange rate for electricity supplied under bilateral arrangements. In its third quarter 2025 report, NEC disclosed that the 3 international customers were invoiced a total of $18.69 million by the market operator for electricity supplied during the period, but they remitted only $7.135 million, leaving an outstanding balance of $11.56 million. Similarly, the international bilateral customer had legally invoiced of $14.7 million, out of which they paid $7.84 million, leaving a balance of $6.23 million. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, opened the 2026 monetary year with a strong investor demand at its first set of open market operations, that is OMO auctions, pulling in total subscription of 2.727 trillion naira across medium-term maturities. The auction reinforced the Apex Bank's tight liquidity stance, with stop rates clustering between 19.34% and 19.41%, signaling little appetite for early easing of monetary conditions. At the OMO auction, demand was overwhelmingly skewed towards the longer end of the curve. The 210-day OMO bill attracted 2.45 trillion naira subscriptions, far exceeding interest in the shorter 161-day tenor, which recorded 277 billion naira in bids. International Energy Insurance, that is IEI PLC, has strengthened its recapitalization plan with approval of shareholders to convert 2 billion naira deposits by Neobeja Advisory Partners Limited into equity through the issuance of 1.25 billion new ordinary shares at 1.60 naira per share at its extraordinary general meeting held virtually. Shareholder approved all resolutions, giving the board full authorization to raise up to 17.5 billion naira through various instruments, including private placement, rights issue, public offer, or strategic investor participation, subject to regulatory approval. The meeting also amended the memorandum and articles of association to reflect the enlarged share capital, ensuring compliance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. And now on the foreign scene, the runner-up in Central African Republic's presidential election rejected the provisional result on Wednesday and alleged widespread fraud. Anicet George Dalluga claimed that the election data had been manipulated by the National Election Authority. Provisional results show President Pastor Achenge Tondera won 76.1% of the votes to gain a third term, and Dalluga received 14.6%. Somalia's National Army has launched what it described as total war against Al-Shabaab militants, tightening security across Mogadishu amid fears of renewed attacks. The city's first line of defense ranged from machine gunners mounted on pickup truck to young men in plainclothes manning checkpoints across key locations. One of the leaders driving the operation is Abdulkani Ali Mohammed, a youthful-looking colonel whose authority has expanded as the government intensifies effort to dismantle militant networks. A United States immigration officer has shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis, triggering protests and sharp criticism from state officials. Minnesota's governor has planned the incident on President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Mukhtar Kasim reports.
The woman, identified by local media as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, was shot at close range during an immigration enforcement operation after officers said her vehicle was blocking their path. Video footage shows masked ICE agents surrounding her car before shots were fired, sending the vehicle crashing into parked cars as onlookers shouted at federal officers. Governor Tim Walz accused the Trump administration of reckless enforcement tactics, saying aggressive immigration policies had turned federal operations into propaganda-driven actions. Walz promised a full and independent investigation, rejecting federal claims that the victim posed a deadly threat to officers.
This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough.
The shooting sparked large demonstrations across Minneapolis, with protesters demanding immigration and customs enforcement leave the city. Demonstrators flooded the street holding anti-ICE placards, while city leaders echoed calls for federal agents to withdraw from local communities.
What happened to Renee? What was done to Renee? She was murdered. Executed. And not just murdered executed by mistake. It wasn't an accident.
Nope. Executed.
After they shot her, I believe there was a doctor in the vicinity, maybe who lived in the neighborhood, who tried to get to her to treat her, and the ICE agents refused to allow him in.
The Department of Homeland Security has defended the officer's action, calling the incident domestic terrorism as tensions over immigration enforcement continue to deepen nationwide under President Trump's second-term crackdown. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Now let's take you to the weather spot, where the federal government says the Super Eagles' outstanding match bonuses at the ongoing 2025 African Cup of Nations have completed all regulatory processes and will reflect in players' domiciliary account within 24 hours. Following threat by the team to boycott travel over unpaid allowances, the Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoka Anites, explained that the delay was caused by foreign exchange conversion procedures, adding that the process has now been fast-tracked, while the National Sport Commission confirmed that President Bola Tinubu had approved the entire AFCON budget since November 2025. The assurance comes ahead of Nigeria's quarter-final clash against Algeria in Marrakesh on Saturday, with the Super Eagles unbeaten and the tournament's highest-scoring team after 4 wins. The Confederation of African Football has announced that the final draw for the CAF Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON 2026 will be held in Rabat, Morocco on Thursday, January 15, 2026. CAF disclosed this in a statement published on its website on Wednesday, stating that the draw will take place at 2 p.m. local time. According to Confederation, the 2026 edition will mark a historic milestone for the competition, as it will feature an expanded 16-team field for the first time. The Confederation of African Athletes has released the qualification standard for the 24th African Senior Athletic Championship, setting clear benchmarks for athletes aiming to compete at the Continental Showpiece in Accra. The qualification document outlines the entry marks across track, field, and combined events for both men and women ahead of the championships, which will take place at the University of Ghana Stadium, Legon, from May 12th to 17th, 2026. In the sprint, male athletes will need to run 10.20 seconds in the 100 meters and 21 seconds in the 200 meters, while the corresponding women's standard are 11.70 seconds and 24 seconds, respectively. And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for for watching.